to What's in the News for Leaders, the podcast where we take what's happening in the world of work and translate it into what leaders actually need to think about and do. I'm your host, Andora Hinton, and in each episode, we look at what today's trends, challenges, and conversations mean for how we show up, how we decide, and how we lead people well. Today, I am extremely excited to introduce Alycia Angle, an industrial and organizational psychologist and master facilitator. She's a leadership development partner at Texas Instruments. And Alycia and I met several years ago. I can't remember how many years ago now, but I just remember, Alycia, how very impressed I was by you when I first met you. And I'm so glad that we have stayed connected over the years. So our topic for today is development is a process. And I'm so thrilled to be having this conversation with her, not because I know how important this is also to Alycia, but I also know how important this topic is to you, our listeners, because this is a very important thing of how we hear of it feels as though training does not support people over time. And so we're going to talk a lot about that today. Alycia, can you just share just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm honored to be here. And we did meet a couple of years ago. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago in a virtual coaching workshop. And it's really incredible to see all the work and all the little tentacles that you've put out since then in your business. And so a little bit more about me and what I do. So I do work at TI full time right now. I've always got a side hustle though. Y'all know, got to keep the side hustle going. And so I have 2 small children, 2 and 1. Yes, 2 years old and 1 year old. So I am working full time and also chasing those 2 around. And so what I do at TI and what I really love to do is build the container in which teams and individuals have insights. And so we do that through some of our leadership development programs and our bench development programs, just trying to help bring the information to people. And then what I love and what I'm excited about to talk about today is this process of building community around learning. So training doesn't just happen in an event. It's more about a journey for learners and leaders.
Absolutely. I love that you're using the word journey because that's really what we try to focus on is the fact that this is really a journey. Well, let's get started and get into this conversation. So when you think about how organizations say we trained our people, what do you think they really mean? And what's missing from that mindset of we trained them?
So I think traditionally there has been an expectation that leaders get a certain number of education hours. And if we meet that as an organization, then it's considered good. We're in the green, right? What we've learned is that training or this education doesn't really last. That's not what makes lasting impact in terms of growth and development. That really it's about what happens outside of that event, what happens outside of the workshop or the learning event or the classroom or the virtual training, whatever it is. It's how are managers supporting the people who were the participants? How are they following up and holding them accountable? How are we creating peer community to help sustain the learning so that people can walk into their day-to-day and actually apply what they learned, that they can talk with a friend or a peer who went through a similar experience and talk about, okay, how did that help me? What challenges am I running into? And so I think what organizations, I know what we're doing at TI and what I've seen other companies do, is build a community around learning. So you get a little bit of that, the 10% of the formal learning. And then how do I build small, almost mastermind type pods so that people can continue learning and sustaining what they learned in the event into their real day-to-day job.
So I love that. We have actually used that as well we've done it in pods of 3 where it's accountability afterwards, and it is really, really effective.
Yes.
What type of results have you seen, Alycia, when you have split people off and had these accountability partners for after the workshop?
Sure. You're asking me all the tough questions on a Monday over here. So what we've seen is true behavior change. And we see that people are saying, I have more confidence in these certain skills after I'm actually working with people and really taking my particular challenge, my specific context, working with a small group, and then going out and testing it. And so we're seeing people's confidence in the skills, let's say strategy. Well, one of the programs that I help manage is for large scale leaders. And these are people who are managers of managers, and they're taking on a larger breadth of responsibility. And what we're seeing is when they're able to bring their specific context to a small group, this is my challenge, this is what's getting in my way, this is what I have to do. And then they work with a small peer consultant group. They can walk away with an action plan, a real action plan they can go implement, as opposed to some theoretical ideas or a model that's nice and very valuable, but they have their own specific context applied to it and can go walk out of that room, virtual or in person, and really start to apply some things.
Absolutely. Well, and what we have noticed is that it's just the consistency. I mean, you come to a training event and it's kind of like a check the box,
Yeah.
and you take away just a little bit to continue the process. But in order for you to continue to grow and change behavior, like you said, is that consistency. When you look, Alycia, at just, a lot of organizations still think of development like a one and done event instead of an ongoing process. Why do you think that is? Why are we still in this?
I know. That's a great question. Why are we still in this? I think it's because any large organization, to change the tradition of what we've always done is really hard. And I think there's a lot of emotion tied to some of the programs or learning. I know for some experience that I have, there are some programs that have a lot of emotion tied to it because it's what people send their elite players to. And the question is it still effective? Is it still doing the thing that we intended for it to do when we created this program, this, experience? And it's really not. But people don't realize that. They just know the feeling associated with it, that it's good for their department, it's good for their team. And so I think, I'm speaking of my specific example, but I think in general, it's hard to let go of the things that people have always done. And I also think that creating a learning culture in an organization is really, really, really hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And why do you say, I have my thoughts about why it's so hard, but what are your thoughts about that?
Because we don't see immediate return on our investment. We don't see results. It's something that you see over time. You see, 3 years from now, your bench is nice and ready to take on that role that they were ready for, 2 years ago. And so we're seeing that, it's the old age story of training and development, learning development, OD. These are the people who in a RIF situation are the first to go, or the ones that get budget cuts in tough times. And it's because I don't think we're nice to have, but people are viewing this group as a nice to have, because at the end of the day, the business still has to produce the results of the business, the product or the service that it's making. Talent development, talent management is a return on investment down the line.